All right, so last chapter we sort of did the longhand way of going over differentiation. It takes a little bit of time, it's a little bit involved, and that's kind of nice to know the foundations of what the calculations mean. But there's really rules of differentiation that we're going to follow that will make your life a whole lot easier. They'll make you like calculus even that much more because you won't have to be do these tedious calculations. So the first thing that we're going to look at is we're going to look at the derivative of a polynomial. So let's make up, let's just kind of anything, maybe a third order minus 3x squared minus x. I'm not really sure what that looks like, but this will at least give us a good idea of some of the rules to follow. So here's the basic structure of what we're doing is if you have some kind of variable with an exponent, you're going to take that exponent, you're going to multiply it to whatever's in front of your variable, and then you're going to subtract 1 from the power. So you're going to take it down a power. So in this case, we have x cubed. Well, remember there's an invisible 1 out front of any kind of number like this. So we're going to take 3 times 1, which is 3, x, and then we're going to go down a power. So x cubed becomes x squared. Same thing on this one. I have this, my power. So I'm going to multiply 2 times 3. So that's 6. X, and then this goes down a power. So 6x to the 1, which is really just 6x. And so on this one, there's an invisible 1 out front. And also there's a 1 up here, really, because x, just x by itself is really x to the first power. So I'm going to do 1 times 1. So that is 1. And then x to the 1 goes to x to the 0. Now remember, x to the 0 power, anything to the 0 power is just 1. So this is really 1 times 1 stays the same. Now anything that doesn't have an x goes away. It becomes 0, because if you think about it, y equals 3 is just a horizontal line, like if that's your graph. And so this isn't, the graph of y equals 3 isn't changing at all. A derivative is a measurement of how much that line is going to be changing, increasing or decreasing. So it's not increasing or decreasing at all, so the derivative is going to be 0. So here we go. So you have, this is our derivative. And remember too, this is a slope. It's not like the specific equation of a line. This is just the slope at any point x. But the rate of change of any point x, I guess, the slope of the tangent line is going to be this. So let's look at an example. Maybe it'll be good to kind of go through one. So let's all right, let's just pick some value for x. Okay, so if it's 2, that'll be so we're gonna do 2 negative 3. Let's do it at that point, and this will kind of really show us what exactly the derivative is. So the first thing we got to do is we got to figure out what the slope is. Remember, this is going to be a straight line. So when we have a straight line, we're going to use y equals mx plus b. So this is going to be our m. This is going to be our slope. So the slope is going to equal 3 times x, and x is 2, squared minus 6 times 2 minus 1. All right. So we can, I'm all about you can use a calculator. These ones you can probably do in your head pretty easy, but it's for bigger ones it's always nice to have a calculator handy. So we've got we're going to do 3, well, here, I always overuse parentheses because it can help us, it just helps organize stuff. Minus 6 times 2 minus 1. So we get a slope of negative 1. Huh. Man, that works out kind of nice. All right, so we know our slope, and now we've got to put this into y equals mx plus b form. So we have an m, we have an x, and we have a y, and that's going to let us solve for b. So y is -3 equals -1 times x, which is 2, plus b. And so from here, it's just a little bit of algebra going through. We've got -3 equals -2 plus b. So we're solving for b, so we're going to add 2 to each side. All right, so plus 2 plus 2. So -3 plus 2, that's -1 equals b. All right, so now we have the equation of our line. Okay, we have y equals, the slope was -1, so that's -x minus 1. And now just here, I think I've still got the graphing thing on here. Let me yep, okay. So let's just plug it in. Let's see if it works. So we've got x cubed minus 3x squared minus x plus 3. Okay, so there is our equation. And so we're looking at the point 2, -3. So there it is right there. So ideally this line should go right through. Hey, look at that. It worked. So that line goes right through that point right here. So it also intersects there. Don't worry about that. That's but right here is what we're really interested in. Maybe I'll zoom in, and you can see at this point 2 at x equals 2 and -3, then whoosh, it'll just go straight through like that. So that's how you calculate the derivative if you're actually looking for the equation of the line. Remember, the equation of the derivative is going to give you a function of x that's going to give you the slope of this line. So you have to do the y equals mx plus b stuff to keep going through. Now, one last thing that this chapter mentions is that it's kind of a cool thing, I think, is that the derivative of e to the x is e to the x, or and so that's just kind of something to it makes derivatives pretty easy to do. And just real fast, sort of a bonus material for this chapter. This is going to be, we'll know the why this happens later on in this chapter, but let's say e to the 3x. All right, let's say you want to take, that's kind of messy. Sorry there. The derivative of e to the 3x. Well, again, for reasons that we'll find out in a little bit, I think in a couple chapters. But if you have something simple like this, really you just bring this 3 out front. So 3 e to the 3x. And then let's say you wanted to take the second derivative. So you'd take the derivative of 3e to the 3x. Well, 3 times that's just going to give you 9 e to the 3x. And if you want to take the third derivative, that give you 27 e to the 3x, and so on and so forth. So e to the x is a pretty unique thing when you're taking derivatives and in calculus. So all right, that should give you a good start, good jump on the chapter, and yeah, there you go.